Hello and welcome to N2 the Chatterverse, where two gents share their 2 cents on pop media. I am Victor Dandridge, the hardest working man in comics.
And I'm Bill, and I don't have an asterisk at the end of my name.
You don't. If you did, what would you want it to mean? Would you tell anyone?
I wouldn't tell anyone.
You wouldn't tell anyone.
No,
Good move. Good move.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, no. Leave the mystery.
Yeah.
Leave the wonder. We saw Thunderbolts a little bit earlier than most, and we had thoughts. And I wanted to take a day because Bill made a great observation, and I wanted to test that theory by seeing it again. We saw it in a private screening. I saw it again with a crowd, and we wanted to know if there was truly a difference, like, in the experience. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So if you have not seen it and you don't want spoilers, come back and check it out. But if you're interested in just hearing, we'll jump right into it. First and foremost, I was excited that we found out what the asterisk was. I knew what the asterisk was going to be, though. Was that ever a true mystery to you?
I knew it was going to be a title change.
Yeah.
I don't think I cared.
Okay.
So when it came up, I was like, I don't care.
Good job.
Yeah,
I got you.
Whatever.
I knew that there was going to be one. I knew that it was going to be Avengers related. Mm-hmm. The question was, what was going to be the adjective that went before it? Was it new? Was it mighty? Was it dark? I knew it was going to be Avengers something. I just didn't know what adjective it was going to be. So to see it finally revealed, new Avengers, good job. Like, it works. It works.
Well, I would question why anyone would make it dark.
Right. Well, in a weird sort of way. From the comics, that's kind of what the lineup
and that's
includes.
fine. I guess I don't really care that much when it comes to comics, but you're talking about something that's supposed to take place in the real world.
Exactly.
Why would they
you
do
call
that?
them the Dark Avengers? Right.
Yeah, like isn't there like a Justice League Dark also?
There is, but that's more magic based, and so they deal with the darker things that are out there. And maybe if there was an idea of calling them the Dark Avengers, that would be like an internal joke where they're like, "Oh, we're the ones that you don't talk about. We're the Dark Avengers." But they didn't do that.
The Avengers.
The Avenger. That's actually better than be Avengers.
You almost would rather than be the Revengers, but I'm pretty sure that is copyrighted. So
It shouldn't be, but that is funny. Maybe they're the Scavengers. All right. So with this one, I felt that the vibe was a little bit more phase 1 oriented.
Yeah.
Not necessarily aiming for a big bad that, where all the stories are aiming towards. And maybe this is kind of like a great way to, because this is officially the end of phase 5. Yes?
I
you don't even
lost track.
I get it. But it kind of felt like the early fun days of the MCU. So I'm putting it in terms of construction, not execution, but in terms of construction, similar to the very first Avengers. You've got different people coming together for different reasons, and now they have to, figure out how to make this work. And I think that is a smart thing for the MCU to return to, because I feel like that's the biggest thing that they've lost post Endgame. Mm-hmm. Everything else that they've tried to do has been, it's been odd in the way that it's singular, right? I've been very critical of the lack of reference to the blip, and I get it. They want to move beyond it, but maybe this is just me. In our cultural setting, right? Like in a historic truth, after 9/11, we talked about 9/11, or everything was in reference to 9/11 for a while. Like it was like a good long time that it took for us to stop making references to 9/11. I think the same thing will happen for COVID. Like it's been 5 years and we still talk about COVID years. Like it's still a reference point. So I think the blip is something so huge that they would talk about it until something else happens that would kind of overshadow it.
Well, I think as far as comparing it to COVID's still a thing.
True.
Whereas 9/11 happened,
right,
and there's offshoots of all that.
Right.
I just think that the blip was just so huge that I could see why they'd want to get away from it, but it's also so big that you cannot get
away from it.
Yeah.
And I think this movie comes really close to an opportunity to bring that up.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do it. And I really wish that they did. There's a couple character moments that we've seen through, I don't know, the machinations of everything that references to the blip make sense and nobody says it. And I'm like, oh, come on, man. Like, this is such a good, like, easy slam dunk opportunity. But I get it. Like, the goal for the MCU has seemingly to be move away from this.
Yeah, well, kind of like not referencing anything that happened in the Indian Ocean.
Oh my, that annoys
until
me so
you
bad.
know the last
right
until what was it?
Brave New World.
Brave New World.
That was
yeah.
it. That
Yeah.
was it. And then this one doesn't do it at all. Like they reference sort of Brave New World.
Yeah, they reference the president.
Right.
Yeah.
But then nothing else about what has happened. Which again I think is kind of weird. Like I think again that's some of the things I think the MCU lost was like it was self-referential in a really smart way. Something happened and you reference it to show like this is all connected.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the thing that was unique at the time because we didn't have movie franchises that did interconnect like that.
Well, when was Thunderbolts finished versus when
That's a good question.
Captain America was finished finally?
I don't know.
Because it could have been one of those things like we could put this in, but we don't know if it's going to make the final cut of the other previous movie, or they just like let's try not to reference
too much on it just in case.
Previous movie. At some point in time they have to talk about adamantium anyway.
I mean, true.
Or at least you'd hope so at some point in time. Unless, they get away from the whole Wolverine thing, which I'd be okay with.
I mean, yeah, as a Buckeye, we definitely don't care about the Wolverines.
Well, but it's not even that.
Right.
It's just that you had a guy that played it for, like 24 years, and he did a really good job at it, and why do you want to replace that guy?
Right.
I get that Wolverine's a really popular character, but you know what? The X-Men is a really popular team.
That's true. And they rotate a lot in and out, different folks. Okay, so to you, did you enjoy this movie overall?
I think it was all right. I didn't, there were parts of it that I thought felt dragged. I don't like how it's like the snap where, I just fixed mental illness.
Right. Ta-da!
Yeah, it's all good now.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Okay.
I'm not on the fence on it. It's just that it ranks as one of the better movies that they've put out in the last 5 years, but that's a low bar.
But that's not necessarily a compliment. It's not a diss, but it's not necessarily a compliment either. No, I totally get that. Considering the lineup, right? So like in all of the things that we saw leading up to this, we knew that we were getting Yelena as a widow of some sort. Red Guardian, we knew we had Winter Soldier, we had Taskmaster, we had Ghost, we had U.S. Agent, and we had Sentry. Of that, we have a few people that survived, and we've got one that doesn't.
Yeah, which I think everybody knew right off the bat that the one was gonna, and I was like, I don't understand why they bring her in just to kill her off. But that's exactly what they did.
That is absolutely what they did. And so on the first presentation, I knew that there was a chance that two of them could die, and it was between Taskmaster and Ghost, and I wasn't sure which one was going to survive until that super extended long reveal of chairs for Doomsday, and the actress that is playing Ghost was there and Taskmaster was not, and so I was like, oh, Taskmaster's gonna die. But do you think that helps set any sort of stakes for this? I kind of thought that it would, and maybe that plays into the showcase of Bob, or the reveal of Bob, where because this person died, you clearly thought this person could die, and as you experience, you go, "Oh, this is a little bit of a twist." Did you feel that at all?
I kind of felt like they were all gonna die at one point in time.
Oh, nice.
And it just felt like the Suicide Squad to me. So,
see,
I just think it was set up that way.
Yeah,
also.
yeah. I definitely understand the Suicide Squad through line because it is very similar. I was glad the moment that they really kind of moved away from it. In a big way. Ironically, the thing that I was most not a fan of was the use of superpowers. Bob in his showcase, like full-on showcase, there was something odd about the visualization of it. And it felt like a not as good version, and this is so weird to say, a not as good version of when Superman came back in Justice League and took on the other team members.
I would say the difference would be that Superman knew what his powers were.
True. But it's literally in the visualization of it. Like, it's not even that Bob might have looked clumsy. The effects of it looked clumsy.
Well, also
me.
Bob was like super thin.
He was.
And didn't look like
he
much of a threat as far.
He did not look super at all.
I didn't have a problem with it.
All right. Maybe I'm nitpicky. Because it just reminded me of it, but not as good. And I, it's very difficult for me to separate, hey, this is their opportunity to do something when they clearly have examples of ways that it's happened and done well. Like, I honestly, even the Whedon version of Justice League, I thought that scene was a very good one. So to not do it to that level, I was like, oh, I feel like
I just think that they want to tell a good story and not.
That's fair.
Go too over the top.
Okay.
They did, the shield part was.
I didn't understand why they didn't fix it. Like, why that was never fixed or just ditched the shield afterwards.
Well, I think he's just so attached to the shield, but I don't think there's anybody that can I don't think Bob has his powers.
True.
So I don't think he can unbend it.
Unbend it? That's fair. I thought maybe he would unbend it before they left the void. Like, he would be like, here, let me, and then that would be fine. But the fact that he kept it, I was just like, that's so weird. It's the U.S. Taco. And one of the things that you brought up was that you thought that it might be funnier with a crowd.
Yeah.
And
because it was humorous.
It was humorous. There was a good layer of humor in it. I think that might be true. I don't know that the crowd that I saw it with was the right crowd. And
that's fair.
Yeah. Because there was a bit more laughter, but it wasn't like early opening night, like fandom laughter. You know what I mean? Like
snickering.
Exactly. It was more like, is that funny? Are we allowed to laugh at that? Ha ha ha. Like, I was surprised there wasn't applause at the end. Like, that's the level of interest that I thought this crowd was going to have.
Like at where the credits start rolling or the very end?
The very, very end.
Oh, well, I have problems with that.
With applause or no applause?
With the final post-credit scene.
I do too. Why do you have a problem with it?
Because it ruins the next movie.
Oh my God, doesn't it though? Oh my God. I don't understand why this happened. And apparently it was the Russo brothers who directed that post-credit scene. So they're pulling from Doomsday for this one.
Yeah.
Which we're already skipping all kinds of stuff. What? Like, first of all, you are absolutely spoiling aspects of Fantastic Four.
Yes.
Without question.
Yes.
But then it's setting up a lot of questionable actions here because, again, spoilers, y'all. We have the new Avengers team, and apparently there's some conflict with Sam Wilson. Where is that supposed to take place? Is that supposed to be in Doomsday?
Other than in the courts?
Right. Like, is that supposed to be something that happens in Doomsday?
In the timeline,
yeah.
Basically. Well, isn't it like 14 months later?
14 months after.
Yeah, so.
Like,
there'll be a gap that's filled.
So
when is Doomsday? Doomsday's next May? Is that July?
I think so. Something like that. Like, they're filming it now.
So it's next year.
Right.
Yeah, so that, I mean.
That's a lot to try to cram into a whole situation.
Well, I could just see the post-credit scene on Fantastic Four being Sam Wilson. Oh, no, they didn't.
Oh, no, they didn't. We're the only event. Like, that's so bad. I don't know if we will get some sort of lead up to this conflict in Ironheart, which I think starts in June. Yeah, you're looking so happy. I don't know, but I was very confused on the timeline of Thunderbolts and its positioning in the MCU like grouping period. Like, clearly Brave New World happened. They reference it.
Yep.
as I understand it, Bucky was running for office in Brave New World.
Right.
Or he had just got something like that. Like he was either running or just got it.
I get the feeling that he was running.
Okay, that's what I got. In Thunderbolts, it's been half a term. So what is that, a year?
Yeah.
Okay. So Thunderbolts is a year after this. This Doomsday clip, I guess, is a year and a couple of months after Thunderbolts. And this entire time, Sam hasn't decided to start an Avengers team, and now he wants to? Man, Sam, get out of here, bro. Like, first of all, you're not even an original Avenger, so I don't even feel like you have the right to do this under any circumstance.
Well, but still, it's 14 months after the events of Thunderbolts.
Right, where the new Avengers have been crowned, and you have no legal right for this, man. Like, what is that?
He's got the shield.
I don't care.
He's got the shield.
I do not care.
He's got the title and the shield.
Oh my god. That's so bad.
Yeah, well, I didn't make the
bad.
rules.
No. That's fair. Did you have a favorite character from this one?
I mean, I love Florence Pugh and everything.
That's
so.
true. She was amazing.
But as far as a favorite character, not really.
No? Okay.
I mean, I always liked Winter Soldier.
Right.
I could do without David Harbour.
Oh, you don't like Red Guardian.
Oh, jeez.
You don't.
It's just too much. It's too much.
All right.
And where was his shield?
Gone. He got none. No shield. They had a 2-shield maximum, and Taskmaster took the other one.
Yeah.
And it was over. Funny enough, Juno is watching Stranger Things. She decided she wanted to try it. I thought it was too scary for her, but she's into it.
Uh-huh.
Right? She's finished season 2. She's going to restart season 3. And it took her a second to clock that Red Guardian is Hopper. But I'm waiting for her to put it together in season 3. Spoilers if you haven't seen season 3. That he ends up in Russia at the end of it. And in season 4, he's in a Russian prison. I'm waiting for her to connect that's how he became Red Guardian. I just want it so bad. Just to see how her young mind works.
That'd be interesting to see if that actually happened.
I think she'd be like, is this how he becomes Russian? I'm like, yes, that's absolutely it. That's what happened in the 80s. That's it. Super cute. I did love the presentation of the Void. I thought the matte black with just the shimmer in his eyes.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
And that was one of the specific things that the theater that I saw it in mass failed at, because the projector wasn't bright enough where you often couldn't tell that he had that shimmer in his eyes. Like that it just looked like an all black figure. And I'm like, no, you can see his eyes. And I was explaining it to people that I saw it with, and they're like, no, you can't see his eyes. I said, you can't see it there, but go to a different theater with a brighter projection. You can see his eyes, and it's creepy in such a beautiful sort of way, especially towards the end when you see the Void and Bob.
Yeah.
I was like, Bob has the same like lighting
Right.
in his eyes,
Yeah.
and it mirrors. And they're like, oh man, we missed that. I'm like, it's not your fault. Like that was the
Yeah.
theater.
I'm like past the point of I have powers, look at my eyes change
Right.
type thing, but it worked as far as the Void goes. I
Yes,
think.
yes.
Because otherwise you wouldn't see his eyes.
You wouldn't see nothing.
And that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but I think it made a pretty good picture.
I agree. Definitely fun. As I said before, I did feel like there was a missed opportunity for referencing the blip. And I have to say this because I think in terms of storytelling, it becomes something interesting. And it was at the rallying point towards the end. Florence Pugh has already walked into the Void and disappeared, become this shadow cast thing on the ground. Mm-hmm. Bucky brings up an argument of, we're not going in there. And there is an opportunity for him to say, I was blipped. I don't want to lose another 5 years. Like, for him to say that, because he is already a man out of time, and every time something like that happens, that's got to be psychologically jarring to him. And he's like, I don't want to do that.
Or he's just used to it.
Or he's used to it, which that's even darker. But to have an opportunity where Red Guardian says, so was she, and she went in there. And it kind of is the thing that makes Bucky kind of go, all right, if she did it, I got to do it. Let's go. And at the end, Val should have used this. Val should have made a reference to the blip and how it took the original Avengers 5 years to bring everybody back. My people did it in an hour.
I think that, I think Val would be quick on her feet like that.
Yeah.
I don't think they knew going into the void that they weren't dying.
True. Absolutely true.
I think Yelena went in knowing
that she could die.
She's just like, this is it, I'm going to die.
This is it.
Yeah.
Which I'm totally okay with that. It's more about the optics of using the blip as a reference point.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of those places that it should have been done.
I think your reference point is forever going to be in Loki.
Ooh. Okay.
Where, the Infinity Stones are all over the place. Like, we're past this.
Yeah, no, this is
yeah.
We hold paper down with this. That was a very interesting sort of move. Very impressed by Val to do that. But I also feel like, if I'm being honest, if she pulled that card, then the very cool and clever credit sequence might not have worked, where there's people that are questioning them and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that would have been a little too weird for her to showcase and prove that these Avengers are better than the other ones, and then people are doubting them.
Yeah.
I did like the credit sequence. I thought that was fun. It was good.
Yeah, that I liked.
Yeah.
I just didn't like I didn't like the mid-credit scene.
You don't
like it's too much. It's just too much. It's too much.
You hold box to face.
But hey, at least now you know why they handed out Wheaties boxes.
That's so true.
CinemaCon.
Yes, I do, which I didn't keep, and
that's because you were upset because they didn't stuff it with anything other than a bag of pre-made popcorn.
Yes, I'm absolutely upset about that. Still mad. You didn't keep yours?
I did grab
you didn't
one.
Get one. That's right. I wonder if anybody did. I don't know if there's anyone selling those either. Is there any theaters?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. All right. So, rating from 1 to 5. What do you give this one?
3.5, 3.25, something there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 3 3/4.
Yeah.
I think it's got some room.
Yeah.
It really does depend on what comes next.
I don't know that I'm going to go back to see it again.
That's fair.
But yeah, I'm more interested to see what happens in Fantastic Four now.
Agreed.
But also, I just can't believe they did that.
Yeah.
I mean, and even if it's like, this doesn't go straight from Fantastic Four, I don't care.
That's still way too much. You're skipping over Fantastic Four.
And I did really want it to be Galactus.
Right. I totally understand that. I totally understand it. Funny haha, in rewatching it, they spoil that that's what it's going to be. When they show the music listing, it actually says that they play the Fantastic Four theme song. And obviously, the first time we were watching it, you and I were chatting, so we weren't paying attention to the music. Second time, I'm waiting for it. I'm watching it, and it clearly says it. And I'm like...
in the credits?
Yeah. And I'm like, well, geez, they spoiled the spoil. Like, what? Come on. What is that? So, yeah. Hopefully, you guys go to see it. Obviously, MCU needs a win in a financial way, because some of the last movies haven't done as well as as the studio wants. But if this is the end of Phase 5 and Fantastic Four kicks off this new Phase 6, whatever that's going to be, I'm excited for the new direction, and hopefully we get some pretty amazing things that happen in this next movie, and hopefully Ironheart is amazing, and I can't wait to talk about it with you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Thank you guys for tuning into the Chatterverse. Once again, I'm Victor Danders, the hardest working man in comics.
And I'm Bill Das Vidania.